What's up, AfterBuzzers? You are now tuned in to the America's Got Talent Champions After Show. On the show, we have sand art, we have card tricks, and we also have a special guest, Brian Justin Crum, coming up.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Literally a beautiful voice.
I know. It just stops you in your tracks.
And this one's for you.
Wow. What's up, AfterBuzzers? We are here again live on another episode of the America's Got Talent Champions After Show. And as you can hear and see, we have the amazing Brian Justin Crum
Hi.
with us today. How are you? We're so happy to have you.
I am so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we're going to be talking with Brian. My apologies.
It happens all the
Brian,
time.
the whole show. But before we dive in, we want to go into this recent episode that we watched. And Brian, feel free to add your input.
Totally.
And then it's all about you. So, okay, this episode that we just finished watching was from season 13, episode 29, entitled The Champion 5. And what an ironic title, because we have 5 top picks for this episode.
Yeah.
So I'll start it off. Well, let me just say my favorite of this episode was Shin Lim. Literally amazing. The magic card tricks, all of that blew me away. Like, I've seen it before, but this was like a whole nother level. How did you feel about it? Or Brian, have you seen cool magic acts trick card acts before?
Shin Lim, he is incredible. He is in a class of his own. I never get too excited about them because I'm like, whatever, it's magic, and everyone who does magic is magic, blah blah blah.
Right.
But I can't figure him out. I can't figure out how he does it.
It's like we were just complaining about it the past couple episodes. Like, I feel like we see the same trick just done a different way every time. But this was really unique. Other than Heidi levitating, this was like definitely one of my favorite magic tricks. And I feel like tonight was just the most competitive night overall. Like, everyone was amazing. So I'm excited to get into the rest of our list.
Definitely. But of course, he had to be number one. Before I go into my number two, what was yours?
I really liked Attraction. So Attraction was it was more than just modern like dance. They would actually I guess it's called shadow dancing.
I was gonna say it's the shadow dance group, right?
Okay, so you're aware of them.
Oh,
so
totally. Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was beautiful. It was touching. I mean, obviously we have the golden buzzer pick, which we'll get into later, but it was really moving, and I've never seen anything like it. So that was definitely in my top 5.
Yeah, they were really good, and I liked the story behind it. I kind of got like an American Dream kind of feel from it, like with the Statue of Liberty and the flag and like the bald eagle. Like, it was a really like moving act. I thought it was really cool, and it's just amazing what people can do with their bodies. Like, I've never seen that before, just images like on a screen, you know?
Yeah.
I've actually performed with them out like in life since the show, and it's really cool. It's just like what they're doing behind, it's all just like layered within depth, and that's how they get like the sizing of the shadows and everything. It's really interesting seeing what's like going on the other side of the curtain.
Wow, I'd like to see how do they come up with the concept, and then how do they practice it? Do they have someone standing in the back like, that doesn't look like a mountain? Like, how do you practice that?
Yes, I'm sure they do, actually. I'm sure they have a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Giving
it was
input.
really cool. It was unfortunate that they didn't make it to the final round, but that leads to my next favorite act. The sand art lady, her name was Sanaya Semenova. She was amazing. Literally, we were like talking about it as we were watching. We were like, if she doesn't make it to the finals, it's an issue, because it was just a complete different kind of artwork that I've ever seen before. Like, think about how technical you have to be to sprinkle it, like, you know, to get up the perfect face, or I don't know, perfect image of a water or something like that. Like, it was amazing. What did you guys think, or do you remember her?
She's super cool. I met her obviously through this whole process, and she's so like intense and stoic. She like what a cool talent to have.
Yeah.
I remember years ago when her like her audition from which one was she on?
She was
Ukraine.
on-
Ukraine.
Yeah.
Ukraine. Yeah. I remember seeing it, and it's very emotional. It's like brings you to tears. It's really beautiful, and she's just like messing around with some sand. You know?
I love it. It's kind of like when you go to the beach and you see the people on the side with the sand art and they do more than just castles. Like, I just love seeing that. And then for her, she told a story, and her timing was impeccable. Like, to be able to do that, to be able to control the sand in a way, it was really cool. I was touched, which is rare.
Right, and clearly she touched Terry because he gave her the golden buzzer, which is amazing, and she truly deserved it. I mean, we were gonna talk about the two finalists, but we've already put them out there. I was highly. I really agreed with the choices that were made. The previous episodes, I was kind of like, I kind of see what you guys got, just a little bit. But on this episode, like, each person that won truly deserved it, and I'm super excited to see what happens next week in the finals.
I'll just tell you.
No, don't tell us.
All the spoiler alerts right now.
And of course, Brian will be in the finals also, so that's exciting to watch.
Yes.
But yeah, were there any other acts that you would consider in the top 5 category?
I think we have to talk about Constantino from Australia. I keep wanting to say Constantino. Yes, we were both talking, and it was just kind of like, how do you practice that? I think this is the other question for the night, is how does one practice all these different things? He timed it perfectly, and I kind of want to know, like, when he seemed to be freaking out, was that legit freaking out? Was he still confident? Like, I don't know. I was on the edge of my seat.
They are really freaking out, I can tell you.
Really? Okay.
They are really freaking out.
We weren't sure.
We had this talk about his performance. If some of you guys don't remember, he was the escape artist, and he was on the big wheel, and like the arrows were getting thrown at him, fire, all of that. And we were thinking, like, is this real? Like, does the I don't know, what is it, bow and arrow? What is that thing called?
The arrows?
You know what I mean.
Let's go with that.
When he unlocks it, it's like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, he has a time that once he unlocks it, then it goes. Like, it's not that much pressure that it will automatically hit you. But I don't know, if you're seeing that this is really real, then...
I can tell you, I was backstage for one of the Danger Acts before, and they were freaking out, and one of them came off stage and were like, that was really the first time we had like run it for real. And we were, because you get a certain amount of rehearsal time for everyone, no matter what you're doing, and I've seen it where like some of the dangerous acts actually get less time because we run out of time or whatever. It's real deal. They're throwing knives at each other.
That's crazy, but see,
stuff's on fire.
That makes me just like think back on, like, I don't know, the execs over the show and production. Like, what kind of approvals do you get to?
You gotta sign away saying you won't sue if you die.
Well, clearly at this point, that's wow. Well, that shut me up. It was real because the whole time I was like, this can't be real. This is not true.
I mean, he did keep saying, "Come on," and I was like, "Is he just trying to hype us up, or is he really like, I'm not sure if this is gonna work?"
Right.
But now I know.
Could you imagine? Do you remember that one season where she misfired and shot the arrow into his shoulder?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was very real.
Yeah.
That was very real.
That's insane. Like, I don't know. I commend like all of those acts, the escape artists, just anything with fire and whatever. I commend them because it was like a couple of episodes too back where it was like a couple and like they did this for a living, and he was saying like, I live every day worried that I could possibly kill my wife. I'm like, how do you? Like, how do you?
Why?
Why? Literally,
like,
that's the question.
Else. Like,
exactly.
Pick up a new hobby.
Pick up a new hobby. That was literally my debate that whole episode. I can't remember which one, but yeah, but that wasn't actually in my top 5, but it was a great act. Also, who was in my top 5 was Sons of Serendip.
Oh, they were good.
They were beautiful. I don't know. To me, I wrote in my notes, they were like a classical boy band. Like, it was, I liked them because they were unique. It wasn't just like your typical rap group or R&B group. It was like people who are actually talented and gifted with musical instruments. And then we have this amazing vocalist all wrapped in one.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
So they definitely made it into my top 5. How do you feel about it, or how do you feel about that group?
I didn't see their performance this time, but I have seen them before. They're they're so wonderful. And the lead singer, I actually met him when I was doing my season. They came in to do like a little guest spot. And he was just so kind and warm with me. And so that's always like, you got to check in my book if like you're really talented and you're also really nice to be around and a good human, because that's like the most important.
Yeah,
definitely.
They seem super humble, which I think is, like you said, that's just, you're already a winner in my book, your humility. But I just feel like between them, and I wanted to bring up Jackie Evancho.
I was gonna bring her up too.
I want them to like score some films. I think that it's just like, I wanted to, and not in a bad way, but I just felt like I was in another world. Like it was.
She
it was
sang
that
something
touching.
from Phantom of the Opera, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I was gonna get on her, but now we can talk about her now. She was the runner-up of season 5. She started when she was on America's Got Talent. She was only 10 years old, and then she came back. Now she's 18, and I thought she was amazing. I wish she could have made it to the finals, but her whole performance was just so like angelic. Like from her outfit to the flowers, the scenery, and then of course her voice. Like she was amazing. How did you? Well, you just shared how you felt. Did you get a chance to see her during?
I saw a couple clips before, and she sounded great. I'm interested to know what you guys. I know how I feel about it. How are you guys feeling about this setup for the show? Like how like the voting is working, and like the only 2 people going through. Are you guys like enjoying watching this kind of unfold, or are you annoyed?
Kind of.
Be real.
Yeah.
I want the real tea.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm kind of annoyed at how there's not much of a variety within this champion competition. I feel like there's a lot of magic acts. There's a lot of
Singers. There's a lot of
I think
singers.
it could have been a little more diverse, but I guess that can also go back to just like reaching out if people want to come back. Some people may have denied, so it's kind of like this is what happens. As far as voting goes for, to make it to the finals, I think sometimes some people's chances are stolen because they have to get America's vote, because you see it like the judges, they're super excited, like we pray and hope that America chooses you, and then someone else gets it and you're just like, okay.
But it's not really, it doesn't feel like America, right?
It's not live.
Yeah, it's not live, so people aren't really getting the opportunity to vote live. It's kind of a select number of people that are there, So I'm definitely like, I've been like looking on my social media. People seem pissed. People seem they're hyped that they can't like be a part of this.
Yeah.
I think that makes a difference in the experience too. It's kind of, you feel, I don't know if defeated is the right word, but it's not fun to watch a show and feel like you can't really affect the results in any way. Like you loved a performance. Say you love Tape Face. You can do nothing about
You love Tape
it.
Face?
I didn't love Tape Face. Last week
like,
I was confused by
This
Tape
was
Face.
the example. This is the example.
But what's so funny is I thought about Tape Face when I was saying there's some people who make it to the next round and they don't deserve it. He didn't make it to the next round, but that was in my mind. Like, what if he would have made it? Like, I would have kind of been mad. Like, he does not champion.
Look,
He's not champion worthy.
But I mean, it would have been cool to kind of let the people choose and let the people's choices rise to the top. It would have been interesting to see what the results would have been if it would have been live. But
I mean, it's interesting. They put together this group of people with like what they thought would be interesting for people to see, and it's kind of like an experiment for them. They haven't done this before, so I think moving forward, I think they're definitely doing their homework on like what's working, what isn't working. If we do this again, what will we do differently? So I think it's it's an interesting process for all.
Yeah,
Definitely. Wow. Okay, I'm definitely going to look this up. May have some news for you guys next week.
Well, I know
on how it
last
works.
week Megan kind of took us through and kind of gave us like the surface level, but it would be good to find out like what was the criteria and who they chose. And I know what they use super fans, but what does that really mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think they use superfans to pick who was getting to come to the show.
Okay.
I
I meant,
think
like,
what they went off of was people who had really special moments on the show and were like favorites from their seasons. But the super fans are, you know, people that were selected from online and brought into the show, and they were kept in like a very separate area. It was like Fort Knox. Like no one was allowed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. But do you have anything else that you want to discuss about this episode?
I actually have like a question for you because you talked about like them reaching out. So what was that process like, having them reach out to you? Did they send out a mass email to all of the champions, like all the participants? Like, take us through that process?
No, there's never a mass email that is sent on AGT. They called me actually a long time ago.
Okay.
I got my first call back in May. And they were kind of like just testing the water, seeing if this would be something that I'd be interested in. And it was a really long process. And, you know, like, we're people who have lives.
Right.
And sometimes I think in television, people forget that, like, we have planning to do and lives and things. And so it was a long journey of, when did we film? October? May to October. So there was conversations like, what would you want to do? How would you want to do it? What kind of story would you want to tell?
Okay, so that's cool. They do give you that opportunity to like explain your acts before you go on.
Yeah, there's definitely like it's a collaborative effort, but they definitely have opinions on what they want and are, you know, strong in those opinions for sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering
cool.
that.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to just dive on into Brian. But before, we want to just go ahead and show our appreciation to our fans, and we want to continue to give you updates on how you can see us, listen to us. Princess, do you want to go ahead and give more information on that?
Absolutely. So we just wanted to say thank you guys for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. And for us to continue to grow, we could really use your help. So if you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you supporting us in all that we do. So don't forget to tell your friends and keep enjoying our shows.
Yeah.
Yes. Keep enjoying, guys. Okay. Brian.
Yes.
I'm ready for all of the tea. So you were season 11, fourth place. You literally won the hearts of America because of your background and your story. How did it feel coming back now to be a part of the champions?
It was really exciting for me. It was a no-brainer. You know, when they asked me to do the show, I was like, of course. There's always, you know, there's no platform like AGT. The eyeballs that you get. So I wanted to come in, and I come from the land of musical theater. I did shows on Broadway, and I wanted to kind of bring that flavor to the stage this time. You know, I felt like my performances on the show last time were very epic and heavy, and that is definitely a part of who I am. There is that in me, but I wanted to show like the lighter, more lovey side. I'm in love, and I wanted to like bring that to yes, I wanted to bring that to the show.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and you can see that even from last night's episode. Like, you saw like your growth from, you know, when you first became on the show, because going back to like somebody to love, Creep, In the Air, Man in the Mirror, those were all like heavy songs that you can tell meant something emotionally to you. So to see you from there, and then last week's episode was just like, wow, like he's owning who he is now, and he's just like growing and just ready to take the next steps in his career. So that's what I got out of it.
Thank you. I don't think there's no way to really fully prepare yourself for what this experience is like, except for doing it.
Right.
So coming back, you know, I had the experience of doing the show before in my belt, and so a lot of those nerves were gone. A lot of like the second guessing of myself were gone, and my worth in being there. A lot of that was done. I was just gonna like able to have fun and enjoy it and own the experience in a different way.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really cool. I think that's one of the things that we talk about is seeing that artist growth. And even when you have some of the younger kids, we're just excited to see them mature as artists. And do you have any tips? If you could talk to, like, we've had 12-year-olds, and you've seen, we've had a lot of kids on the show. What would you tell them from your experience?
hard work is like key to everything. And, you know, I've learned the lesson the hard way myself that, you know, you can't just rely on talent. It's not enough. Like, you have to be training all the time. You have to have your hustle, like whatever your hustle is around making this happen for yourself. No one's gonna do it for you. Like,
Right.
you have to do this. So what I tell kids is like, study, work, train. This is your craft, is your everything. So the talent part usually comes easiest, and then it's like all the other things. My boyfriend taught me that one.
Chilling in the back.
It's then like all of the other things that you kind of have to like find where they fit in the puzzle. And so yeah, that's my advice.
So speaking of that, what is your preparation process? Like, even before, you know, America's Got Talent and Champions, how do you get in tune with yourself to help produce an amazing show?
That's a good question. It usually starts with daydreaming. I'm listening to music and I'm thinking about like visuals and what would I want to be wearing, what would I want to be doing, where would I want to be. So that's kind of usually where it starts for me. And I've just very recently started trusting my gut with that stuff and going with my instincts. I just shot my music video for my single Circles, which will be out in a couple weeks, 2 days ago. And it was so amazing to see my vision being actualized and like everything that I had thought about in those daydreams and seeing them and seeing all these people that were there to support that vision. It's really exciting. So that's kind of where I start. I start with just dreaming. Yeah.
Cool.
That's
One of my
beautiful.
favorite quotes is "Don't quit your daydream."
I
So
love
this
that.
is like the living like example of
Don't
that.
quit it. It's a part of the job. It really is a part of the creative process. Daydreaming is a huge part of creation.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe that. I believe just like in general, just in life, it's like what you see, it's like the future of what could happen. So it's like making that come to life. And
Yeah.
that's literally what you do with your music.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of like pulling from life experience. If I'm in like a writing session, it usually starts with me like whining about whatever's going on in life, like my therapy session.
Thank you for your honesty.
Exactly. And then we like all start. I'm gonna take my jacket off. I'm getting warm in here at AfterBuzz TV. Yeah, it's every part of this has its own process. So my songwriting thing is always about like taking whatever moment that I'm in, whether I'm feeling love or feeling like angry or feeling hurt, and running with that and just using one of these and just like writing it all down. Yeah. What do you guys like? Are you guys in music at all? What's your spiel?
No, well, I'm in television. I study journalism in school, so now I'm working in production and in news, and then of course a part of AfterBuzz.
Yes.
So yeah, I have aspirations of being a host, and AfterBuzz is the perfect platform for me to, you know, pursue that. So now I'm just here practicing and living it.
I love it. So cool.
And then for me, it's kind of the daydream scenario. I went to school and I didn't think that I could do anything in front of the camera. It was my daydream, but I didn't think it could happen. So I took the production route, and that is my day job. I'm a production coordinator, but I'm thankful that I've started to just step out and just try it. And thankfully, every time I've taken a step, there's been like, you know, the road has come up to meet me. So it's been a really cool journey, and I'm happy to be here. And like I said, don't quit your daydream. Legit.
Yeah.
I love that. I've never heard that before.
Really?
Yeah.
I see it on like, you know, those wooden plaques that everyone's buying. I've seen it on
Yeah.
one of those. So
That's so
That was
cute.
beautiful. That means you're walking in your purpose.
Walking in your purpose. It's very true. It's like when you're starting to do things and following your daydreams and things start happening and actualizing, it's just like a sign from the universe that like
Definitely.
you're on the right path, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and keep on doing it.
absolutely. It keeps me going even with my, you know, with the day job. It's like, okay, I can do this now because I have
Yes.
my daydreams. So,
Totally. So good.
yeah, thank
That's
you.
beautiful. So, okay, you mentioned that you did Broadway.
Uh-huh.
Would you ever go back to that, or how did
Yeah.
you make that transition to music from Broadway? Because clearly that's where you, like, you know, I guess developed your skills and learned that I can sing.
Yeah.
So how did that transition come about, and would you ever go back?
I would love to go back under the right circumstances, of course. I did it my whole life, and I did my first Broadway show when I was barely 18, and it was this show that I did called We Will Rock You, which was all of the music of Queen that I starred in on the U.S. national tour. And the show closed in L.A., and I'd always wanted to move to L.A. I'm from San Diego, but lived in New York for 8 years. So when the show was closing here, I was like, this is the sign from the universe.
Right.
Yeah, man. So I just like did it. I stayed, and I ended up doing this show in a bar, and it like, you know, everything just started coming to me. I felt like I made the right move. It all made sense. I started making YouTube videos, and I was like, I want to focus on my music. I want to start like figuring out what I want to say. In musical theater, which is such an incredible art form, you're always pretending to be somebody else,
Right.
and singing songs as somebody else, and singing them how, you know, you're supposed to sing them. And I got really bored with it.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, what do I sound like? What do I want to say? So that I spent some time here in LA just kind of like discovering what that was. And that's when all of AGT happened. I had been here for like a year and a half when that all started. So I would love to go back, you know. I think more now than ever, I'm like ready to get my toes wet in that world again and revisit the Broadway stage. Yeah.
So when you were in New York for 8 years, and you came here, and that was when you just had that revelation, like, you know, it's time. So was it kind of one of those like leap of faith where you came out like no job, like, you know, it's typically people do coming to LA. I know you mentioned before AGT you were working in a car service. So like, was that kind of a part of your journey, or how did you get your, I guess, big breakthrough? I know you auditioned, but like, what made you build the courage to do it?
Yeah, you know, I had a bunch of friends who, I was doing this Baz Luhrmann show. Baz Luhrmann's a director, and he did Romeo and Juliet and The Great Gatsby, and I made really good friends with Rumer Willis, who is Bruce Willis and Demi Moore's daughter, and she was doing Dancing with the Stars at the time. And I was on set with her and watching all that go down. I was like, I kind of want to, this seems kind of cool. Like, I could do something like this, like one of these competition shows. And my friend Miguel worked on the show on AGT and was like, you should come and audition for the show. Wow. So it all just fell into place like perfectly. And it was, you know, I like second guessed it for a minute, but all in all it was like a no-brainer. It made perfect sense. And
wow.
Yeah.
It's literally cool. Who you know in this business. Like,
well, you know, and stepping out too. I think there's something to be said about just taking that leap of faith too.
Saying yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of opportunities in life that are going to present themselves to you, but you have to say yes to them. You have to know what to say yes to and what to say no to, you know, find your way.
That's really cool. I wanted to talk about something that you have coming up. You have a ballet tribute to Queen. So can you tell us more about that? Because I'm excited. I love ballet and I love Queen. So tell us about it.
It's becoming something really magical that I didn't really know when they asked me to be a part of it what it was going to be. But it's been a really rewarding experience. I love Queen's music, obviously, like everyone does. But I have a specific history with it. I did that show We Will Rock You where I was singing all of their music. I used Somebody to Love as my audition song for the show. So I just feel very like I have some kind of like ownership over it, you know, like it feels like it's a part of me. So when this came up and she told me that she wanted to mix the music of Queen with ballet, I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? That sounds crazy. And then when I listened to the music, you know, the album is The Night at the Opera. And I think Freddie's always had like a love for the stage and for the opera and for the drama of it all. So when we started working around with it and playing with it, it made perfect sense. So it's an immersive experience. There's going to be dance happening all around you. These incredible ballet dancers, and I'm just going to be singing my face off.
that is so cool.
Yeah, really beautiful dancers. I think we're going to show a clip at some point of what we've been working on. But yeah, I'm really excited.
That's so cool. Did you see Bohemian Rhapsody?
I did.
What did you think about it?
I thought it
Here comes the shade.
was nice. I thought it was nice. I thought it was like the Disneyland version of Queen.
Okay.
Which, like, everything has a place, right? It was like the fairy tale story of Queen. Because I feel like the real story is a little grittier.
They usually are.
Right?
That's usually the case. That's life. So.
Did you guys like it?
I'm a fan of Rami Malek, so to me, there's like
he's wonderful.
He can do no wrong. So I mean, I think what you said is fair.
Yeah.
You know, but
I personally haven't seen it, but I will be tuned in now.
Check it out. Go see. Tweet me. Let me know what you thought. But yeah, it was cute for sure.
that's good stuff. And then, what was rehearsal like? Working with you're singing, and then you have the dancers. How? Please take us through that. I don't understand.
Yes. So basically, we haven't. It's all like a puzzle piece, right? So I know kind of what I do on stage and how I live in that music. So it was kind of about figuring out how the two will make sense together. So most of what they're doing happens in front of me. And if you've ever seen Sia perform, she does this, she's always just like standing there and singing, and then there's like this beautiful contemporary dance happening. So they're down, they're like right below me for most of it, but there's moments where they're like up with me and through the band and through the audience. So it's like a puzzle piece. Every day we work on like 1 or 2 numbers that we have rehearsal and play around and see what makes sense and like what's exciting and what gets us all like hot and into it.
Wow. Do you feel like you're back in that theater world? Like you're back home? Like, do you have that feeling?
Totally. And it's nice because I feel like I have control a bit more. When you're in a theater production as a performer, you don't really ever have a say in what happens. You have somebody telling you where to go, where to stand, how to say your lines, blah, 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 blah. But I feel very much like, this is my baby and I'm, we're all like putting this together,
It's the way it should be.
Yeah, right? Collaboration.
I love
It's all
it.
about collaboration.
Especially in this industry.
Yeah.
We all got to work together to create a great product. So that's
Totally.
really cool.
Yeah, it's
love
fun.
it.
And it's basically sold out. I think we have a few like standing room tickets left, but
Wow.
it's sold out really fast.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I know. I have a lot of fans that are like flying in from all over the country to come see it. So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you from Broadway to AGT to now. Like, this is amazing.
yeah, it's a very exciting time
Yeah.
for sure.
So going back to AGT Champions, I'm curious to know, what is it like sitting in that room, watching everyone else perform? Like, you see it a little briefly on camera where everyone is communicating. Is it a friendly atmosphere, or is it kind of like, we're like, yeah, you're good, but I'm good, I have to win it?
No, it's totally friendly. I haven't met anybody there ever, I don't think, that had like a salty attitude.
That's good.
That's
Everyone,
beautiful, yeah.
I think if anything, we bond over, except for him. My boyfriend had a salty attitude. We all kind of like bond over the fact that like we're sitting around for 12 hours a day. Like we're all grumpy at them.
Wow, okay,
We're
so
not
it's
grumpy
12
with each other.
hours.
It's a long day. Every time we're on set, it's like we're there at 9 a.m. And then we film the show, whatever. It starts at like 5 or 6, but we're there till 11 p.m. It's like
Wow.
really long days, and they're like, "Okay, just go sing now." Like,
You're like, I've been sleeping.
I've been sitting on the couch for 5 hours. What do you mean, go sing?
That's wow.
I'm gonna give you guys all the tea here.
Please do.
Please do. We need it. And then, even with that, how has your life just changed in general from after America's Got Talent? Like, I see like you have a lot of gigs now and things are really growing, but as just far as like personal or just like within family or things like that, how has it changed?
You know what? I don't think things have really changed on that front. My family is, I'm still the little brother. I'm the baby that everyone can like, push around.
Oh.
The show hasn't really changed that side of my life. And what the show has really done for me is provided a recognizable name that people get excited about. I'm still doing the shows that I was doing before and singing songs like I was singing before. I'm still doing me, what I was doing. Now just more people want to come out and see it, which is really amazing and super exciting, so that I can, support myself just like touring and making music.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey. Well, we have a clip of your new music video. So do we want to get into that?
Yeah, let's play a little clip of it.
Yes.
I've paid my dues.
I wish I could dance, man.
Time
Yeah, these dancers are
I've done
amazing.
my sentence, but committed no crime. And bad mistakes, I've made a few. I've had my shadows and in my face, but I've come through. On and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Yes. I'm feeling that.
So this is during the show? Or during the rehearsal?
This is not we had like a full day on set for this
Okay.
specifically, but all of this is choreographed for the show. This is the vibe of the show. This is, what the show will be, that we were able to kind of capture in the music video. And it was kind of my love letter to this experience of AGT the Champions. We picked this song to do and just, obviously it's called Champions, and it's like, this is my little love letter to everybody who's been involved in this process with me. It's been a crazy ride.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
It's on YouTube. I think we're gonna link it for you guys, so if you want to go check it out after this, you can watch the whole video.
Wow. Well, we have really enjoyed you here with us.
Thank
This has
you.
been
Thank you
great.
for
Thanks for
coming.
all of the tea spilled from
Yeah.
behind the scenes, and just your energy and everything is amazing. And I truly wish you the best of luck as you continue on in
you.
your career. And hopefully we find out some good news later on with AGT Champions. I know
And
we
you
can't
guys
say
all,
it.
you make sure you follow me at Brian Justin Crum. I'm gonna have a new single out in 2 weeks, Circles. So stay tuned for lots of goodness. Yeah.
Amazing. And then do you have anything else that you want to promote or share? What else could we look
No,
forward
that's
to?
it. Yeah, check me out, Brian Justin Crum, on all platforms.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, that's our show, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to the AfterBuzz after show of America's Got Talent Champions. Where can we find you on social media, Princess?
I'm on Instagram at lovealwaysprincess.
Great. And what's up, guys? My name is Tyra Prue. You can find me on all social media platforms at _Tyra Prue. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.